Dear friends, since the aggression and annexation of Crimea in 2014, I'm always supporting Ukrainians in their fight for freedom, self-declaration and democracy. In the 21st century, when the world talks about new technologies, green agenda and space development, least one can imagine is a war. War in Europe is the most horrifying thing that could happen. That is why I strongly support Ukraine, and that is why tonight we should adopt the report for the consequences of the Russian aggression against Ukraine. These 2 days we hear from our Ukrainian colleagues for the suffering they face. Listening to these shocking testimonies, I can only draw a parallel with the fate and the denial of the Macedonian people, centuries old, disputed by their neighbors who are both bigger and more powerful. For centuries, our neighbors disputed Macedonians as a separate nation, culture, and separate Macedonian language. We were victims and prosecuted during the Balkan Wars, during the Greek Civil War, and finally disputed in the 21st century. The denial of the Ukrainian language and the thesis that the Ukrainian nation are a product of the Lenin and the communists is similar to the thesis of denying of the Macedonian nation and language and the thesis that the Macedonians are product of Tito and the communist Comintern. The disputing and humiliation of both nations and languages has many symbolism and similarities. Even the same words are used. This was not accidentally noticed even by the great philosopher Francis Fukuyama, the author of the legendary End of History and The Last Man, who says that there are many similarities in the narrative used against Macedonia and Ukraine, and the denial of the Macedonians and Ukrainians. The basic value of democracy is that people decide for themselves, but also for who they are and what they are. It is civilizational prosperity, from which there is no turning back, and which no war or blockade can stop anyhow. Therefore, I can freely say to the Macedonians that our struggle and destiny is very much similar to the Ukrainian one. And that is why we must support them with all our hearts. We are small, we cannot do much, but the slightest support means a lot in this whirlwind of war. The Macedonian people in history has always been on the right side. On the side of the truth will be in this crisis, military aggression, in this suffering and misfortune that is happening in Ukraine. Ukraine will win, the truth and democracy will win. Thank you very much.